today. Symbieta, J.J. Buck, the morning after. The Lobos lose in double overtime in Reno to Steve Alford and Noodles in Nevada, 97-94. A game that I honestly thought was over with 1:04 to go, and the Lobos up by 5, and they had the ball on an inbounds play. And then, obviously, J.J., good morning to you.
Morning.
The final play is going to be one that this is going to be a game that lives in Lobo history for a long time. For so many reasons. If House hits the shot, the runner at the end of regulation, he's a legend to beat Noodles and Alford on the road. And then he starts turning the ball over. The collapse at the end of the first overtime, and then the Morris Udeze flagrant one on a rebound, no call on a foul, and that swung the game. Did it decide the game? I mean, I imagine that call absolutely decided the game in that moment. My feeling is they shouldn't have been there, but yeah, that was a tough call. I thought he got fouled before that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack from the end of this game. The feeling that the Lobos should have closed it out in the first overtime.
No doubt.
5-point lead with 1:13 to go. You end up turning the basketball over 3 times. Down the stretch, that final minute, there was that 5-second violation, a shot clock violation.
And then a held ball.
Mixed in there with the jump ball forced by Nevada. Credit the Wolfpack because all game long, they jumped all over the UNM miscues. It was 23-7 advantage at the end of the night, points off turnovers for the Wolfpack. So they took advantage of the Lobos' mistakes. Despite all that, you're sitting there 94-94. You got the rebound, and then you got the controversy.
Controversy was 2 guys on Morris Udeze who pulls down the rebound. He throws an elbow, and then he does throw the arm. He does. I'm going to hear you don't call it in that situation. It was pretty hard one, JJ. I think not to call. Don't you?
Yes. Made contact with an extended arm.
Now, here's something I told you before we went on the air. I'm going to throw something at you that I've not. Now, I haven't read the Twitter like you did. I shut it off and went to bed. Okay. Listened to the post game, and there wasn't very much there. Richard was angry, and he should be. What would have happened if? Okay, they didn't stop the play to go review that play. Richard called timeout. What if they'd have played that out? Lobos go down and hit a game winner. Are they able to go back and review that and call a flagrant one after the game? The reason the play was stopped for them to call the time, right? Richard called timeout. I just kind of watched it again. I just want to make sure. Am I wrong there? Is that right? So he got the rebound. He outletted the ball.
Yes, he did.
And Richard called timeout to set up a final play, correct?
That is correct.
What if he let it play out and they go down and Mash hits a mid-range jumper and they win the ball game? Can they go back and review that? Because the reason it was stopped, right? And I'm not blaming Richard for calling timeout. I mean, there was no call. They played on, and there's other things we could talk about, as far as drawing stuff up in the huddle and that sort of stuff. But you know what I'm saying? The reason that play was stopped to review it was because a timeout was called. If the Lobos play that out, go down, there was 16 seconds ago. If they play it out, go down and score, and go off the court and celebrate, can they bring them back on and go review that and call it? Oh, nope, that never happened. We had a flagrant foul. How would that have been ruled?
I have no idea.
I don't either. And that was very plausible, right? That could have happened. I'm not telling you we shouldn't have called the timeout there. That's not what I'm saying. So the only reason that they were able that it was stopped was they looked at it. That's the one that kept me up. All right, we're going to go through every bit of this because I thought they played an insanely good game for the most part, except for the 19 turnovers. I thought Nevada defends. I thought Lobos did a good job adjusting to their bigs. I thought Baker was going to eat their lunch all night watching the first half of that. I thought there was no way they could stop him, and they weren't early. The Lobo guards are terrific. The Nevada length gave them trouble. 19 turnovers is too many. House is wonderful, but he gets out of control at times. And then I'm going to take you to what I think was the key. And I know I'm all over the place with this because there's so much to unpack here. JJ, you got, what was it, 1:04 to go? first overtime. You're up by 5. You're coming out of a timeout to not be able to inbounds the ball. And I think Vern Harris was right. I mean, when they replayed it, I counted. It was 5 seconds, JJ. I know the Twitter's going crazy, and we're going to hear it wasn't 5. And you don't call it there. I believe it was the right call.
It was 5.
Yeah.
I rewatched it like 3 times.
Yeah, I counted too. And I counted kind of slowly.
Did you, with the camera angle, you only see 4. And I think that's what fans are upset about. And the referee making that arm motion,
Yeah.
you only see 4 because they switched the camera after House gets the ball. So you assume that House, once he got the ball, it started. So there's 1, and then there's the 4. And then so when the ref extended that arm, 5th time, blew the whistle.
All right, I'm going to tell you that's a really tough one to explain away, right? I mean that's to be able, and it's you got to be able to inbound the ball at midcourt, okay? And I don't know if Richard drew something up for an inbounds play, thinking that there would be pressure, or told them what to do. I'm not sure, but you got to be able to inbound the ball. So then they go down to hit a 3. Nevada does. Lobos get the ball back. They take a shot clock violation. Nevada goes down and ties the game up. And Lobos get the ball back, and Jamal gets tied up going to the basket with 2.4 seconds or 3.4 seconds to go, and they didn't get a shot off in the last minute and a half. They didn't get a shot off. They're up by 5. That game was over. By every right, that game should have been over. That's where the game was lost to me. Not with Udez's thing, and I mean that came down.
What about when they called a jump ball on Mashburn when he was trying to go up?
That was the held ball.
The held ball.
As he
that
was
was
going with 3 point. It was the right
changer
call
for me.
100%. You think that was the wrong call?
I don't know. I rewatched it a lot of times.
It was the right call.
It was 100% the right call. Yeah, I don't. I mean, he went in and was it? Who was it? Blackshear? Yeah. I mean, credit Nevada now. Steve's teams have always played defense. Well, Jeff, gave up 94 points. Yeah, I know. Steve's teams play defense when it matters, right?
Against a really good offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, both these teams are actually better offensively.
Yeah, they are.
Watching that game than they are defensively. And I know that the forearm hurt around the West is going to be the focal point. But you look at that game played out, the second overtime, Nevada played it without their lead guard. He fouled out.
Mm-hmm. Right away.
You had opportunities to capitalize. There are things that you'd like to see when you get in overtime a little bit more. Should Jamal Mashburn have touched the ball?
Yes.
Yes. But then you also realize, tired minds go one-on-one. And some of that execution starts to go out the window when you got dudes playing 40, 45 minutes on a basketball court, and it just turns into who can make a tough shot, who can grab a rebound.
Free throws.
Free throws in overtime period.
Free throws are brutal.
3.
But the big
Yeah.
guys
Lobos
miss.
missed
There's
4.
3. Yeah,
Nevada
4.
missed 3.
Double.
Both periods.
Yeah, look, there's a million things to look at here. Free throws overall on the evening, the Lobos were 18 of 23. Nevada was 20 of 26. I mean, 18 of 23, when you look at it and you say, all right, I mean, you can live with 78%, but it's when did you miss them? It was down the stretch. I'm going to preface this. This is a really good team. There's some things. Let me ask you this. Second overtime. You got Dent out there. House is such the high ceiling and low floor thing, right? House does so many wonderful things, and then he gets out of control a couple times and turns it over. To your point, he's your point guard, right? So the ball's got to be in his hands. But doesn't Mash have to touch? Now, they did a really nice job of denying Mashburn. Really nice job of denying him the basketball. In fact, there was a foul. Isn't that what Blackshear fouled out on? Was trying to get him the ball. Was a pick. He was following him through, and
No, that wasn't
that wasn't him.
that was his 4th.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
But I mean, they did a really nice job on it. But yeah, I mean, I thought Donovan Dent had a big bucket going to the hole that bodied up, went straight up, bodies collided, and he finished. I thought Donovan was big. But yeah, Mash has to have the ball. What did he have? 30. What did he have end up last night?
He went off.
33 points last night. Yeah.
And think for the House, it's the moments. Because House played 46 minutes,
Yeah.
turned it over 4 times. Dent played 23 minutes, turned it over 4 times.
Who did?
Dent.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's
But it's the moments that he
you're
turns
in
it
the
over.
clutch.
Yeah.
And now House got one back when he made that steal on the
Yeah, on interior.
Nevada's
On
breakaway.
the interior, yeah, and let the break the
But
other
there's
way.
still those moments that are going to frustrate you from your point guard.
All right, this is a big one today, and Also, because my phone was blowing up just because it was Noodles and Alfred on the other side, right? And they wanted to see those guys eat it. He's 7-0 against New Mexico. Yeah, he's 7-0 against New Mexico. And people, my phone was blowing. They just wanted to see their face. When we're up 5, show Alfred and Noodles, and boy, they did at the end, didn't they? They did at the end. This one's tough. Now, this one isn't a backbreaker. It's not a resume destroyer. It knocks you down to, 5th place in the league? 4th place, 5th place in the league? It hurts. It's one you feel. I felt that they should have won that game. There's not many times I walk away, when we sit here and you guys all tell me you should have won. That one I felt Lobo should have won. You see the difference in this? When you're up 5 and you have the ball with a minute to go in overtime, and you don't get another shot off.
Udeze hit the and one. He looked at the student section and said, "Game over."
Yeah.
And then it promptly misses the free throw.
Yeah.
And watches Nevada hit everything in the first overtime.
And that was off a great pass from House there. So, I mean, that's the up and down of Jalen House, too. Look, I think Jalen, and I'll tell you this over and over again, I think he's the most dynamic player we've seen around here in a long, long, long time. He is terrific. That there is some out of control House at time, and I think we saw a little bit of out of control House at time. But that, again, to me, that's not why they lost. They got to get the ball inbounds. They got to make some free throws. They got to get a shot off. And then the 3 at the end, right? They had how many seconds? It was all House forcing it. KJ was open behind him. That the last play after the free throw when they came down. He threw up the 3 at the end where Nevada didn't foul. You know what I'm talking about? The very, 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 very last one. They came down with 3.5 seconds ago, whatever it was, and House had it and forced. Just one.
They inbounded on the baseline.
The very last play of the game where he hit, he had a 3 look from the top of the key. Very, very last one. All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in. I want your thoughts on Louisville basketball last night. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter _JJ Buck at Part-Time Bro. And on Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show. Adrian's producing there. And you can watch the show on Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. Want your thoughts on Louisville basketball? The Udeze call last night, the offensive foul, the end of the first overtime, the shot that almost won it at the end of regulation. Got a lot to unpack with the Lobos in Nevada last night on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask. Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Barella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Carried in by Dylan McCleskey.
With 5 great locations, you're never too far from amazing New Mexican food.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. From winter-ready SUVs like Highlander and RAV4 to steady sedans like the Camry all-wheel drive, Corolla hybrid all-wheel drive, and the all-new Crown. Plus rugged trucks like Tacoma and Tundra. We're ready. Yours, Toyota. Toyota. Let's go places. based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
Visit your Albuquerque Santa Fe Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually happen. Oh, great.
H.J. Rivera with... I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calv's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calv puts it down. Brian Calv with the dunk in transition.
Home office and my home.
Staples has you covered with everything you need to get organized this year at amazing savings. Right now at Staples, get up to 50% off select file folders, file cabinets, file boxes, and storage bins. Make this year your year at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/28 in store only.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of everyone.
With seating for 8. And with 2.9% financing, you're going to love your Ascent. Stop by Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or fiestasubaru.com.
New Mexico's Sports Authority, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
You got court stormed last night. That's what happened. This is big picture. I know you don't want to hear this today. Big picture, it's good. If someone's storming the court to beat you, you're on your way. Coming off the two biggest wins of Richard Pitino's tenure at UNM, I think that was the toughest loss, just because of the way it happened.
Yes, everything that played out.
Yeah.
The multiple chances that were there, that were given away.
And the more it matters, the more it's going to hurt. Does that make sense? When you're 18-2 and you're ranked 25th in the country, I mean, welcome back to Louisville basketball. It's kind of.
You're right. This team is still very good.
Yeah.
But you're still looking at a 5-3 team in conference.
That's right.
And luckily, you got the potential to split with the Aztecs still. They got to come in here. So, I mean, sweep. That's what I mean. You could sweep the Aztecs. You could sweep Boise State.
Yep.
And so there's just teams that you're going to be competing with in the standings. You have the opportunity coming up. Utah State around the corner.
You get them once.
You get the return game against Nevada. So you still have your opportunities when it comes to standing, it comes to seedings. But with the way it feels, and you look and you're like, man, that's fifth place team in conference right now with everything that's gone on. And maybe I'm telling these AP voters too, just stop ranking New Mexico. Anytime they get that number right away,
they take a tough one. Andrew, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
What's up?
Oh man, I'm heartbroken, but I'll get over it. I guess it's just because it's Alfred and Noodles, right? Like it wouldn't have. I don't think it would have hurt as bad if it was anybody else. But hey, just a couple comments, then I have a question. I'll hang up and listen to your answer. So I guess I agree 100% that you should have been able to get the ball in. Two huge turnovers, that's on the Lobos without a doubt. However, the other issue that I have that I've been watching games in the Mountain West, these officials are so inconsistent, and I think it makes it tough for the players. and then Udeze throws the arm.
Yeah.
There's a cause and effect. The reason Udeze threw the arm is because he was getting hacked. Should he have done it? No, absolutely not. So my question is so New Mexico calls timeout. Vern Harris then goes over to the monitor. Well, why? Why does Vern go to the monitor, and why is he able to call a flagrant one, but he's not able to review a common foul?
Yeah, you're not allowed to call a foul on that. Right, JJ? Correct me if I'm wrong. You're only looking for the flagrant on that. He went over there, and this is really interesting. And I don't know if you heard me earlier. If Richard didn't call the timeout, if he'd have let it play out, Lobos go down, score, and win the game, can they? And Andrew's gone. I appreciate the call. Can they then review the call? Because the reason the game was stopped, Richard called timeout, right, to set up a play to win the game. Because Udeze, there was no foul call. He outletted the ball, got to half court. They called timeout. But on that, JJ, a coach can call for a review, and one of the officials can say, "Hey, let's take a look at that." Right?
When it's deemed flagrant,
or potentially,
potential flagrant foul, they can go back and review that, and we've seen that happen all the time. It's just an extra level of frustration because it was not called. They didn't call anything.
Well, and there should have been a foul before the flagrant too.
Call the fouls before the flagrant.
Yep.
They didn't call the forearm in the moment.
Yep.
And then to go back when it stopped is they can do that.
Yeah.
They do that all the time.
When it stopped. The question is, what if the Lobos would have hit a buzzer beater and ran off the court? Could they have gone back then?
Alford would have been.
Oh, of course he would have. And he'd had a right to be. And he had a right to be. Andy, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Well, I have to agree with Andrew. The reffing is just terrible because it's one of those things, there's things you can control and things you can't control. We can't control banding the ball. We can control playing better defense. We can control some of the help balls, things of that nature. But we can't control refs stepping in at the very end of the game, and you let them play until you don't. And I think Andrew had a really good point. Yes, we did all of those things and still played our way back into the ball game. Yep. So saying that, well, the refs didn't interfere with the game and that we should have won it earlier. Yeah, you can say that, but we put ourselves in a position to win. We did everything we had to win. The held ball on Mash. Sorry, you can't herd Mash then grab the ball. That's a foul first. You can't pull down a rebound and slap at the player, and then when the player's trying to create space, the kid flops and then call a foul when Patino calls a timeout. So yeah, I see what everybody's saying in terms of. We could have done this to win the game. We could have done that to win the game. But we continue to play ourselves to be into position to win the game. Yeah. And then the two times we could have on Mash's held ball, which wasn't a held ball, which should have been a foul first, and then the foul on Udeze, the refs intervened when they let him play the entire game. So to Andrew's point, very inconsistent. I don't have a problem losing this game if we lost it straight up. But having the refs interfere when it was convenient or they didn't see it is a little unnerving. And Nevada's not going to get bailed out in postseason play. They're not going to get that again. So I don't know. Yeah. And if the thing is, had they called the foul on the two players that were punching at the ball at Udeze, if we're going to do what if, Alfred couldn't have said anything because that was the right call.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm going to disagree with you on the Mashburn call. I thought that was the right call. I thought that was a held ball. The one at the end of the first overtime where he drove down the lane with 3 seconds ago. I thought they got all ball.
If he hadn't have been hurted with the hips and knees first, I would say yes. But they continued to hurt him, and they slapped all night and never called it. So I mean, yes, they let him play. I disagree that wasn't a foul before the held ball, but that didn't affect the outcome of the game. We still put our way into it. Some of those. We should have inbounded. Like I said, we can control that. But the things we couldn't control is where the ref stepped in, and that's where I have a problem.
Great call. No, Andy, appreciate you. Thank you. The inconsistency is something that I know has been mind-numbing for a lot of people. I will tell you this, and I think this is to the benefit of the league. I feel this year they've let them be more physical. And I've always felt that they call this league a little too tight, and then they get into the tournament, it gets so physical, and guys get in foul trouble. So I feel that they've let a little more go this year. But to their point, at some point, and it felt like at the end of the game they wanted to let him go, and that's why they didn't call anything because they didn't call the flagrant initially. They didn't blow a whistle until they looked at it. There should have been a foul, I believe, on one of those guys reaching in because they both slapped him, and I think he got frustrated. Man, get off me! Stop!
Yeah,
hitting
there
me.
was zero contact before the jump ball
on the Mashburn call at the end of the first.
Yeah. And a big indicator on that
Yeah.
is there was zero reaction from the Lobo bench. That was right there.
Okay.
They knew that Mashburn dribbled in and Blackshear made a play on the ball.
Yeah, I see. I that was my feel on that. I'm going to disagree that should have been a foul. The end of the game, though, I mean, these guys that are talking about the inconsistency, I think there's a lot to that, and it's a hard game to officiate, and what is a foul and what's not, and all you want to know is all day what is a foul. My gut tells me at the end of the game, the referees didn't want to blow a whistle and decide the game, right? And that's why they probably didn't call the foul on Nevada swiping at Morris. That's probably why they didn't blow the whistle initially. Steve goes nuts. The game stops. They're kind of obligated to go back and look at the video at that point, aren't they?
Yes, with what happened.
And then you see what happened. Now, I don't think, and actually I'm pretty sure, they don't have the authority to go back and call the initial foul, do they? They don't, right? So they, even if they saw, oh, we missed that one, but boy, that one's flagrant. We got to call the flagrant, and we missed the initial, and that's where UNM gets hurt. If you're there, stay there. 505-246-0610 area code 505-246-0610. Long night last night, and then you get court stormed after it. It means you're somebody, though. It means you're somebody. All right, how you feeling, guys? Tired? Fatigue? Dealing with it a lot, maybe a little weight gain. New Male can help with things like fatigue and weight gain and even depression and erectile dysfunction. It's what they do over at New Male. Give them a call. And now for men and women, if you're dealing with hair loss, New Male is your state-of-the-art expert when it comes to hair restoration. Guys, ladies, call New Male at 505-652-1688. That's area code 505-652-1688 or online at newmale.com. They have professionals who walk you through the options, and then you pick the best option for you. They'll offer you platelet-rich plasma hair therapy, which uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle to stop hair loss and regrow hair. They offer an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser that has been proven to regrow hair. And they have NeoGraft hair transplants, which produce natural-looking results in less than a week with no linear scarring. So gentlemen and ladies, call New Male at 505-652-1688. 505-652-1688 or online at newmail.com.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505.
Emotional roller coaster last night. I don't know if I've ever seen a team lose a game the way the Lobos did 4 times last night. And I kept telling my wife, they're just giving it back to them. And there were just so many instances where if they had just 1 or 2 little things would have made a difference. And as far as the call with Udeze, I think that they would have brought him back out if we had made the shot and run off. Because as soon as he called the timeout, I said, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to go look at it. And I was afraid that's what they were going to do, which they did. And I think it was the right call, right? I mean, you know that they can't go back and review fouls, but a flagrant, they have to. That's a rule change that needs to happen. That's beyond us, right? If you're gonna do that, then you need to be able to look at what instigated that situation, right?
Right.
But
if you're going to go back and look at it and say,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're going to say that's a flagrant, you got to say, but we also missed the guy raking him across the arm.
Yeah, and either it's offsetting and nothing happens, or whatever the situation is. This team gets 2 and you get 2 in the ball, right? But earlier in the game, a similar situation happened when Lucas, when he goes by Jalen, clips him with his elbow. And they called the foul on Jalen, but they don't go and review the play then. It was a dead ball. And Jalen was like, my lip is busted. Of course he hit me.
Right.
And it was pretty obvious in the replay. You could see it. And it was intentional,
Man,
right?
on the ground, right in front of their bench.
It's his off arm.
Yeah.
So I just hope that they can rebound from this and get over it. Like I said, there's no easy games left. And you don't want to end up, we may be a good conference, but if we're all going to beat each other up, you don't want to have the 4 top teams being 2 games with each other and sitting there at 9 and 7 or whatever it's going to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was one. But here's the thing too: when you watched them last night, even though we had too many turnovers for one, but I still think, just watch them play. I still think we're the better team.
kind of do too.
They just looked like the better team. And Jamal was pretty good last night. But he disappeared. He had that first shot at the beginning of the first overtime, and I don't think he scored the remaining 9.5 minutes of that game.
I want to say he had 3 points in the 2 overtimes. They did a really good job of denying him the ball. The Lobos didn't get him the ball, but they did a really good job. And credit Steven Noodles on this one. I mean, they made it right, JJ, in the overtimes. They made it their priority to deny Mashburn the basketball.
Yep, and then they had 2 guys with 4 and 2 with 3, and we did not go after them on fouls. We did not press it with them. And we just kind of went stagnant in the overtimes. And I don't think KJ stepped up. I don't think anybody stepped up offensively, other than Adesi getting some great feeds inside and putting them up and in. But we'll see what happens. All right, thanks, guys.
JJ, thanks. Right, I mean, yes, Mash kind of disappeared, but I think they did a really nice job of taking him out of that in those 2 overtimes, and obviously that was their make someone else beat us. Jeffrey, good morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
What a game!
It
what
was
a game.
entertainment, right? I mean, it was on the edge of the seat, stand-up entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, look, it always sucks to lose, but if you're going to lose, like that's the kind of game you want to see. You don't ever want to get blown out. And don't get me wrong, this is not a good loss. I'm not obviously, I'm not one of those guys. There's no such thing as a good loss, and there's no such thing as a bad win. Yeah, it was unfortunate because it's the unspoken rule that as a referee you don't want to be the deciding factor of the game, especially in the last few seconds. And I just think that last sequence of events was really strange because when you watch it, I mean they were hacking the hell out of Mo and didn't call anything. And I think at the very least, obviously you can't go back after your review and call a foul on them. You can call the flagrant, but you could also call a double technical for intentional fouling. That with that least amount of time left in the game. And so I think the officiating, the last little bit was a little suspect, but I'll tell you what, I'll call it right now. I think we're going to beat the crap out of Nevada in the pit, because if you look at this team and the motivation that they get from certain things and listening to Patino after the game, I think if you miss that game, I think you're going to be missing something special. And I think we're going to have our revenge on that team, because like the last caller said, I think we're the better team.
I do too. And Jeff, appreciate it. Thank you. So I got JJ, I got a good buddy who's a Nevada fan who was at the game and letting me up. He thinks the Lobos were a better team. He's like, the text I got, man, we got a break there. We got out of there. Your guards. Him and he's a pretty knowledgeable basketball guy. His assessment was, damn, I think Nevada got lucky.
Nevada also played really
they
well.
Played their asses off.
Like
Dude,
there wasn't a game that. They didn't lose to a bad basketball team. You can watch that game and think, I think the Lobos are a better basketball team. Will Baker was fantastic. He looked like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the first half.
Big
like
left-handed skyhook.
Blackshear's a really good guard. They put a lot of pressure on the Lobos. So,
and look, Steve did a nice job. Like Steven Noodles,
both teams' offensive efficiency, it was off the charts in that game. And that's just tough because that's going to be the theme for Lobo fans is, we're going to blow their doors off when they get to the pit. Well, you just have back-to-back games. So Boise State thinks they're going to blow your doors off.
That's right.
When you get up there. And that's what's really hard is the top of this league is good. But to going kind of back to JD's point, it's going to get a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because everybody's going to beat each other up.
End up picking up 5-6 losses in conference.
And everybody's going to beat each other up. Yeah. Ruben, good morning to you. Hey, Ruben. Ruben.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
What's up?
No, I'm just calling in support of all the callers. I support them 100%. But I heard the loss to Alfred. That don't hurt so much on the standings. And the reason I can say that because there's at least 7, maybe even more teams that can win the Mountain West. And the Lobos are one of those teams, and I'm really proud of them. Thank you.
All right, Ruben, thanks. Chris, good morning to you. Whoop, that's the wrong one. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I just want to make a comment. There was a game at it was Maryland and Purdue.
Okay.
And a similar situation happened. Zach Edey hit a kid in the face with the elbow. Inadvertent. They're hacking him. They called a foul on Edie. They went back and reviewed it and changed it because they said the player was in his cylinder. And they
and I
called
think
the
it could have
foul
been
on the
that
guy
too.
that got hit with the elbow.
Yeah, and I think it could have been that too. I mean, then that is a legitimate call. You know,
So
JJ,
they go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Chris. Finish.
But I just thought, you know, they said we can't change the call. You could have gone in and called that and gone from there.
Well, there's no call to change. They created the call. I mean, and Chris, appreciate the call because I think it's a really good context. Did you feel that and basically what that is you've got, if you're in a guy's, I mean, basically in his body range, his cylinder, you know, he's got a right to protect himself in the basketball.
Well, and this is where it gets really tough. You have to nitpick the rules. Is they didn't call a foul, so then can they go to the cylinder rule if they did not initially call a flagrant or a foul to reverse?
Say that again.
Well, it sounds like, I don't know the exact play, but what he was referring to is they called a foul.
Yeah.
On Edie in the
Purdue game. Yeah.
And then they went back and said, "Oh, no."
So there was no call here to reverse.
Yeah.
But instead they applied one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I don't know.
It's a tough one. I might have an answer for you on the rule. Is something. You know, the ruling if the Lobos would have played it out. All right, 505-246-0610. Lobo fan, you should be passionate about this one today. This one hurts because it matters, right? This one hurts because it meant so much. Yeah, there's the Noodles offer thing on the other side too, and that hurts. But I know you feel like this one was taken away from you. And in some respects, I get that. And in some respects, you had it and you didn't finish, right? I mean, you turned the ball over at the end of the first overtime, the inbounds play, the shot clock violation, the held ball. You didn't get a shot up in the last minute and a half. You were up by 5 and you had the ball. That was a big. I mean, I thought it was over there, but at the end of the game, yeah, we can continue to have this conversation because you know what, it's a real conversation and it was a tough situation. And with all due respect, man, I think Morris Udeze got fouled. He did throw the arm. He did. You know, the flagrant probably was the right call, but I think the referees were trying to let it play out. 505-246-0610. Hey, John Thomas Jewelers is the best jewelers, not just around here, but that I've seen in a long time. 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. Custom jewelry, beautiful jewelry. If you dream it, if you could think about it, and maybe even stuff you can't even think about, they can make it for you. He showed me, John did pictures of just a picture of something. I want earrings made out of this. And then he showed me what the earrings look like. They're the best jeweler in Albuquerque, and they've been voted that for years in a row. The only 5-star Google rated jeweler in the state. And when you're ready to make your girlfriend your wife, you're ready for that beautiful custom ring, this is the place to make it complete. That transition will be complete. And you're going to be amazed at how affordable John Thomas Jewelers is. Go by, see them. They're going to show you all the different options, and then you can start building off of that. The bands, the stones, the designs, the settings, and you're going to walk out of there and just go, wow, I'm so glad that John Thomas Jewelers is here. Valentine's Day is coming up, guys. Go by and see them. They're on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. I stopped by there a couple weeks ago, and honestly, just flat out amazed. They are now my jeweler. John Thomas Jeweler on the 3rd floor, Lewis University building right across from the Coronado Mall to the east, 1 block south of Manal. If you can dream it, they can make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of fire.
All right, here's one thing I got back on this. And I didn't think of it this is true. To penalize a team for taking a timeout and then using that timeout to review and then not giving the timeout back is truly inexcusable. So what this is saying is Lobo should have got that timeout back, and they could have called the timeout after the free throws and set up a play. But yes, if Richard didn't call the timeout, they probably would not have reviewed it. You know, the other scenario that would have been interesting, if Richard didn't call the timeout, Lobos did not go down and score, so we're going to a third overtime. And then during the timeout, right, between the intermission between overtimes, Could they have reviewed it then and assessed the flagrant and given that, and Nevada goes and hits the free throws and wins it with nobody there? You know what I mean? With no time left, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would they?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It says the reality was coach was trying to call the timeout when Udeze was getting fouled, and all of a sudden the ref turns and sees him and gives him the timeout after the ball was moving up the court. Timing all happened so fast. And what it looks like on the video that you got, it does look like Richard called timeout on the outlet pass, right?
Yeah. So it's Richard Pitino starts to call timeout like as Udeze is moving forward, so after the forearm.
Yeah.
But that's bang bang in the moment. That's like watching it slowed down.
Yeah, I know. Rudy, good morning.
11-2.1D, instant replay, cylinder and hook and hold plays. Following a call by an official involving either swinging of the elbows, cylinder play, or a hook and hold play, the official may use instant replay to review and adjudicate the play by removing fouls, assessing fouls, or concluding that no foul occurred. But that's when a foul is called.
Hold on.
Jeff.
Okay,
Nope.
so you said removing, assessing. Did you say assessing?
Assessing
So he
or
can't.
concluding that no foul occurred.
So he can call
So-
a foul. He can't. He could have called the foul, the common foul.
But what Vern Harris should have done, and I'll get to Vern in a minute, is conclude that no foul occurred because the timeout was called prior to any foul, flagrant foul by Udeze. Not only that, but they invaded his cylinder.
Yes.
That's the call. That's the call right there. That's a foul. Boom. Play over.
Yeah, I think,
So every time UNM's on the wrong end of a bad call by Vern Harris, I've counted. That 5-second count off, he's counting one when he's handing the ball to the UNM player to inbound it. Not only that, the ball was out of his hand before 5 seconds. They need to do something about Vern Harris. I don't know what his problem is with New Mexico, but he's got a real problem. And every chance he gets, he does something finky. And that was so finky last night. We'll see what kind of reception Vern Harris gets next time he walks into the pit.
Yeah.
But that guy has got to go. That was so poorly administered, I can't believe it.
All right. And Rudy, if you can, send me a copy of that rule because I'd love to see it, and I appreciate the call.
Okay.
So let me give you a couple
I
things on that. I'm going to disagree with him on the 5-second call. I counted it. It's really close, but I counted 5. I counted pretty slow. You did too, right?
So did I.
Yeah, I thought it was 5. I think that's on Jalen. JJ, I firmly believe at the end of that game, Vern Harris, and who was the official that made the call? Did you saw the video up? I probably have it up here. Who didn't make the call actually? Who was right there? I firmly believe they didn't want to make a call. I firmly believe that they wanted that thing to play out and not decide the game. It's not. Is that Vern Harris right there? I'm trying to look at the video. It's not him that's right there that didn't make the call. It's not him. Now, Vern Harris was the official at midcourt when Richard called the timeout. But I'm looking at it again, and Richard is calling timeout as he starts to fend these guys off. Now, then they went and adjudicated the call. Then they had to look at it and they had to figure it out. If that's right, JJ, if they're allowed to assess a foul,
They're not.
Okay.
You can't just go back and assess common fouls.
All right. Joseph, good morning.
All right, thanks for taking my call. I wanted to let you guys see if you guys agree with me. I think they missed 2 calls on that play. The one with the trap, they fouled him. He got hit at least 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And then if you're not going to call that, on the replay, it didn't look like the Lobo player, hit him. It should have been a flop.
Do you think it was a flop? So you think he felt? I mean, he hit him, Joseph. I mean, are we arguing that? He did throw the arm. He did hit him, right? Are we arguing that?
No, I think he made contact, but I didn't think it was enough for a foul, or for a technical foul.
No, he hit him in the face. All right, yeah, and I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, by the letter of the law, it's a flagrant foul. It's a tough time to call it. Joseph, thanks. Right, were you and I on the same page? I mean, by the letter of the law, he hit him in the face. I just watched it again. I mean, he extended the arm that doesn't have the ball and warded him off. Look, I'm not blaming him. I'd have got pissed off, too, if these guys are hacking at me and hitting me and nobody's helping me. I got to defend myself, right?
You want the obvious fouls called. I don't want any of this. I don't want the referees getting involved because it was worse after the fact that the refs didn't get
if it's a foul, it's a foul.
Yeah.
Call the damn foul. You're right. The referee, that's on the referees. They should have called the common foul. We never would have got here. Keep them coming, man. I know you're passionate about this. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Bond.
Well, a day off today, and they deserved it after going overtime on Saturday night, getting on a plane. It was a Friday night, getting on a plane on Sunday, going to Reno and playing double overtime last night. Lobos get beat in double overtime 97-94 in controversial and excruciating fashion. Josiah Alec played 48 of the 50 minutes. Was it 50? Right? 20, 40, 50 minutes. Yeah. It's my San Diego State education. Jalen House, 47 minutes. Mo Desi, 46. Mash, 43. I mean, they played minutes. They double-double for Desi was 16 and 10. The Lobos make mistakes down the stretch and are the victim of a tough call. I think a missed call and then a tough call. How do you I mean, what do you call it?
A missed call and a tough call.
Yeah.
And for the refs, they're sitting there not wanting to insert themselves into the game, and then it backfires because not calling the foul after Udeze got the rebound, he gets frustrated, his forearm pops out, and then when it's
he's defending
contact
himself.
like that,
Yeah.
after the fact, they're going to go look at it, and it downs the Lobos.
A couple of things to think about as we have this conversation. And the first hour is really, really good. You can get in at 505-246-0610. The end of first overtime, Lobos have a 5-point lead with 1:04 seconds to go, and they have the ball inbounding it. 5-second violation. I know some of you think it was quick. I mean, with all due respect, and I counted it, A-Marie, you counted it, JJ, you counted it. I mean, we all feel it was close, but I think it was right. I think it was a 5-second violation. And I don't know if Richard, during the timeout, drew up an inbounds play. I got to believe he figured they'd inbounds the ball, and then here's what we're going to do when we get the ball in, and we're going to whatever, and at 12 we're going to go with that high pick or whatever. I don't know if they drew something up to get the ball in, but they didn't get the ball in. Nevada hits a 3, cut it to 2. Lobos go down, do not get a shot. They take a shot clock violation. Nevada ties the game up. Lobos get one last shot. Mash goes to the hole and gets tied up. It's a held ball, and they don't get a shot off. I know some of you think that was a foul. We just looked at that again. It was actually pretty clean. Was there some hip action? You said did they hit him on the hip a little bit going in?
The outside defender, kind of this is where we're talking about breaking down the film.
Yeah, I mean, we really are too.
Like 1/10 of a second by 1/10 of a second. The back of his hand is kind of on the hip of Mashburn, and he's going in, but Blackshear was all ball.
I thought it was all ball there. And then what you had at the end of regulation, or at the end of the second overtime, and with 16 seconds to go, 17 seconds, Morris Udeze grabs a rebound, 2 guys, and he got fouled. I mean, he gets fouled, and there's no call, and he's trying to defend himself, and he swings his elbow, and he does take his left arm off the ball, and does make contact with the Nevada player in above the neck, and look, the flagrant by itself, if that happens in the second half or the first half, you got no problem. You're right, that was a flagrant foul. They should have called a foul, but because that decided the game, you didn't have possession. They get 2 shots, they get possession, they go up by 3. Then you had the ball back, man. Lobos had the ball with 16 seconds to go. They did have a possession. Steve decided to not foul. The Lobos had an opportunity to get a 3 off, and they had. I mean, nobody's talking about that last possession either, JJ. That last possession was ugly.
There was nowhere to go on that.
It was House handed it to Dent, back to House at the top of the key. He was harassed. Jenkins was behind him on the logo. You don't need him shooting from there. Nobody else really moving, and House forced up an off-balance 3. And I'm watching it, and Adrian's showing. If you're watching on ProView, you'll be able to get a look at it there, and it was tough, man. It was just a tough way to lose. And the other part of the conversation, if you want to get on this, and again, please understand, I'm not blaming Richard for calling a timeout here. I'm really not. But if he doesn't call a timeout there, let's say they don't have a timeout, and they play out, and the Lobos go down and hit a shot and win it at the buzzer and walk off the court, they probably never review that call, right? But Richard he did call timeout, and the video clearly shows he's trying to call out a timeout as Morris's left arm is extending, and then he did call timeout with Vern Harris as the ball crossed midcourt. He wanted to set up the final play. But if he doesn't, and they play it out, and somehow Mash rises, or somebody hits a shot at the buzzer, or Desi gets something down low, they walk off that court. Alfred's screaming bloody murder today, and he's got a point. And I don't think they ever go back and review it. It's kind of crazy in bang-bang situations how it happens that fast. But, I mean, that's really what it was, right?
That is how it played out.
Text line, 505-246-0610. Jeff, Lobos missed free throws and sloppy play at the end of regulation and both overtimes. The call did suck, though. Yeah. They missed free throws, 3 free throws down the stretch. Lost by 3. They turned the ball over 3 times at the end of first overtime. Lost by 3. This other one says, oh, yeah, after that jobbing last night by the Nevada refs, you better believe February 7th is circled in red, baby. I understand what that word means, Robert. 3 turnovers with 5-point lead, says Jeff. Ugh. I get House's drives a lot to create opportunities, but with a 5-point lead, driving out of control is not the best choice. They should have changed up Mash versus Blackshear, 6'6" guard that was a mismatch, and we needed a bigger defender. Love our Lobo team, love our backcourt, but I've always said if we have a weakness for the NCAA tournament, it's our guards are small. They are. And he didn't he switch Alec out on Blackshear for a while, right?
Yeah. Johnson had some time on him. Alec got him on some switches.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, can I tell you this? And I said this earlier, but I'm going to tell you this again. I'll probably tell you more than just now. This loss hurts because it matters. They stormed the court on you because you matter. This one sucks so much because it matters. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat this for you. Please don't think that. But big picture, this team's good. Losing that game last night on the road in Reno, like last year's team the year before, you lose that game, you're not even close. Jeff, I already know that. All right, good. But this team is good. And it's the response on the Twitter, the response this morning. I mean, what do we take? Probably 15 calls the first hour, 12 calls the first hour, right? You guys are in because it matters, and because this team is good, and you realize the potential, and also because Noodles and Alford were on the other bench.
No doubt, 7-0. Steve Alford is against the Lobos. This is a 5-team conference right now. And anytime,
yeah, but the other teams can still bite you, man.
Yeah,
you
but
beat
that's
Wyoming by 1. Look at the bottom.
Makes
Look
it harder
yeah.
when you have a lead that you let go.
Yeah.
Late in a game on the road when it's hard to win on the road.
Yeah, because you've lost to 2 teams at the bottom of the conference and you beat the other one by 1. Yeah, they all can bite you. Robert says, I'm not going to criticize this last game. We all know what went wrong. What I just realized is we have something here. Let's go. Top 3 teams in the conference. We had a 1 possession in all games to have a victory. Go Lobos. And he's right. Like, this one sucks, and you can break it down. And if Richard didn't call the timeout, and again, please, I'm not criticizing him for that. Yeah, but I'm not criticizing for that. But like, let's say they didn't have a timeout, and you almost wish they didn't, right? Because if they didn't have a timeout, it plays out. You're going down. Now, should they have given him a timeout back since they used that timeout to review the play? I guess so, probably. Yeah, they probably should have. And then they would have had a timeout to set something up at the end. Because that last possession was ugly, man. Right? And that last possession wasn't very good. But you got something here, man. You got something that's pretty good, and that's why you're so pissed off about it. And I'm cool with that. That's such a crappy way to lose, you guys. Hey, Marie, you found Patino from yesterday. I listened to the post game last night. I mean, there was a lot of one-word answers, right?
I'm going through it right now.
That's as cranky.
I'm going through it right now just to see if there's any juice for you guys, but not much.
No, that's as justifiably cranky as I've ever heard him as coach.
Yes.
He was pissed and he was careful what he said.
And it's only 4 minutes. It's short.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even.
Yeah, like they asked about
usually it's like 12 minutes.
And he basically said, you guys can say it, I'm not saying it. Right? I mean,
right.
It was he should be upset, man. That was, if they would have gone through this stretch, JJ, I was just thinking about this. To win at San Diego State, to beat Boise State the way they did, and then to win on the road at Reno like this would have been, I mean, I don't want to say monumental, but certainly noteworthy, right? That stretch.
No question. This is, you can say, you lost to a good team. The top of the Mountain West is really good. It's still really frustrating when you blow a 5-point lead late in overtime when you have the multitude of possessions the Lobos had in the final 60 seconds. In fact, there was a 5-second call, a 30-second shot clock violation. in there.
Yeah, that's
and
part
how
of the game,
tight this race is going to be down the stretch. And for as good as the Lobos are, they're still a very good basketball team.
They got to win games.
It's an eye opener. You look at the Mountain West, you're like, man, that team's 5-3. Yep. This is a conference, and so you hope that it holds on. The numbers are in your favor because Vegas is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. Yeah, this tournament's going to be really fun.
Keep building that resume as the season goes on, and March could be something special.
San Diego State, in whatever orders. I mean, San Diego State's in first place with 1 loss right now, but San Diego State, Nevada, Boise State, New Mexico, and Utah State are all really, really, really good. This league now, and I don't know, JJ, I want to talk about the sustainability of the league because a couple of years in a row now, but this league is a nice basketball league. Yeah, I was reading somewhere yesterday, somebody was saying the West Coast Conference is a better league than Pac-12. Can you make the argument the Mountain West is too? There's UCLA and Arizona. Mm-hmm. After that, would you say that, I mean, and we can have that conversation. There may be more teams in the NCAA tournament out of the West Coast Conference and or the Mountain West than the Pac-12. 505-246-0610. Want your thoughts, Lobo fan? That was a tough one. That was a tough one. What sticks out? Is it always going to be that last play? Is it because it was Noodles and Alford? Is it because the end of the first overtime? Dang, you almost won with a Jalen House shot, a runner at the end of regulation. Want your thoughts? Air Force will be in on Friday. 505-246-0610. Hey, business owners, are your computers and networks secure? Are you sure? Are you really, really sure? Get a hold of ABQ IT and make sure. You have to know your system's protected from hackers and cybercrime. And a gap in your cybersecurity can do major damage to your business, and the threat is real. ABQ IT provides a thorough look at your computer security, and they will tell you where you are at risk, and then they'll take care of it. ABQ IT created a business model designed to protect you from malicious threats. Keep your computers up to date and do it all at one affordable cost. And listen to this, by June 9th, many of you are going to have to ensure the personal data of your customers is protected. Are you aware of the FTC safeguards rule? Your business may face penalties if you're not compliant by that deadline. With ABQ IT, you'll be prepared. There's no hourly rate, no billing hourly, no hidden fees. Your rate is predictable. It will not change. You've got to protect your business. It's not worth the risk of thinking bad things just won't happen to you. Trust the experts in cybersecurity and compliance. Visit abq-it.com. That's abq-it.com.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including...
That was a tough one. At least you didn't have to stay up till like midnight for that. I mean, if there was a plus to it, at least it wasn't a 9 o'clock start. I was looking at my clock. I was like, wow, this game's going pretty quick. It's going to end before, in under 2 hours. And then it was more than 2.5 because it was 2 overtimes. I mean, I'm looking for positives for you. At least the game started at 7, not at 9.
Those are definitely some positives. People are funny.
Oscar says, Lobo fans can cry about the officials. The UNM had their chances to win the game. House didn't get the ball in on 5-second call. He took a bad shot at the end. Should have passed it off to someone else for a better shot. House plays out of control at the end of games. Even the announcers said he needs to play under control. House was really good at times, and House turned the ball over at times, and he's kind of taking it, isn't he?
It's your point guard balls in his hands. I'd say I didn't like anything that got at the end, even if the ball was out of his hands. Because then you passed it to Jenkins standing on the logo at half court.
Right. There was
he passed it to Mashburn that was just standing on the wing guarded.
No, well, if you look at that last play, nobody's moving. Yeah. He gave it to Dent. Dent gave it right back to him. You got Jenkins behind him. And by the way, they defended the hell out of that play. Nevada did. Like Nevada's really good. They're what, a top 30 net ranked team. And I mean, in case you forgot, and those guys can coach. They did a pretty good job when they were here, right? Those two guys?
They did.
And this might be, if they get this team to the NCAA tournament, after what they were and who they lost and what they were expected to do, I mean, I don't know. Who's your coach of the year in this league right now? It's him or Richard, right?
That is correct.
I mean, Lobos were picked, what, 3rd, 4th, 5th? Nevada was picked 9th? We're early. I know. I'm not sitting here, trying to sing the praises of Noodles and Alford. But they did a hell of a job with that team. And their defensive strategy to deny Mashburn in the second half and well, really more so in overtime. Mash is unbelievable. I mean, all you got to do is get the ball in his hands because they'll elevate. And do you think he looked tired? Look, they played an overtime game on Saturday night. Nevada had a week off. And then so the Lobos had overtime Saturday and then traveled. Nevada had a week off. They should have been fresher. And I'm not sure they look fresher. But Nevada should have been fresher. Lobos should have been tired.
There are some tired legs, tired minds into that game.
Do you think that because I do, to take away the advantage of the team that's coming off their bye. So it's an 11-team league. And so there's a weekday and then weekend, weekday, weekend, weekday, weekend, weekday, weekend. Lobos have their bye that weekday period where they scheduled Oral Roberts. Okay. Nevada was coming off of their bye. Do you think that after coming off of your bye slot in the schedule, you should play on the road next? Because whoever you're playing is coming off of something relatively quick. I do.
There's also women's basketball scheduling.
No, I understand.
Into it.
I understand. It's not easy to make
go
that.
in there. Like,
yeah,
just happen to play back-to-back overtime games.
Yeah. All right, Gabe, you were there. How you feeling?
Oh, it's kind of disappointing, but if you told me we were going to be 18-3, prior to the season, I think we would all take that. I mean, we could basically be 21-0 right now. I mean, we were in every game, some disappointing, losses. I just kind of want to break down, we had a 5-point lead in overtime with 1:07. We basically beat ourselves. I mean, that and also that foul in double overtime against Mo got really hammered. I mean, I don't know whether there was no foul called on him. People are saying that, Coach Pitino didn't call a timeout. It would have just been ran off. So there was so much, and I haven't been listening this morning, but I did kind of briefly hear what you said about, having a week off. I think that's just, I don't think rest for this team it doesn't really matter. I think, it's all about drive and wanting to win, but it was a great game. It was a great experience, to be here in Reno supporting these guys. I don't think it's going to affect us. I think we're still basically a lock for the NCAA tournament right now. We're definitely going to have to, win, a couple more Q1 wins. Can't lose any Q3 or Q4, losses. But, guys, I'm so proud of this team. To be 14 to 15,000 a game, Lobo basketball's back. It's a great time for Lobo basketball right now. We got to still support this team. Very disappointing loss. We could say this or that. Mountain West Conference is tough.
Yeah,
I think
really
this conference is definitely is a 4-bid league. It definitely is. So a little bit of thoughts. On the game. It was a great experience. I think they had around 8,000 fans, if I'm correct. It kind of got filled up. They rushed the court. It was kind of disappointing, but I guess when they rush the court, it means obviously they rushed the court for an amazing team. Yeah. Proud of New Mexico. Just wanted to give some thoughts about our team, and go Lobos. Keep on supporting our team, guys.
Thanks, Gabe. Safe travels back. Appreciate you. When they rush the court against you, it means you matter, doesn't it?
It does.
It means you're relevant again. A number of things in there. And again, if you're just joining us, I think the biggest would have been crazy, and this would have been the conversation this morning, is if there was no timeout called, Lobos go down, hit a shot, then what? Could they have gone back and revisited, or would it just been they missed a flagrant foul and Alford would be losing his mind right now, right? I think that's probably the scenario. Or if the Lobos go down and miss the shot, this might have even been more interesting. And so now we're going to a third overtime. And so you've got that intermission between the second and the third, and they go back and look at the video. Then can they go back and assess it? And then what would they have done? Would they have gone back and put 16 seconds back on the clock and played it out? I think there's a million scenarios of the what ifs. And I'm like that one. I think if the Lobos hit the shot, the game's over. What if they miss a shot and we're going to a third overtime? Could they have gone back and done that?
I can't recall an instance where that has happened.
That doesn't mean they can't do it. I see stuff all the time that I've never seen before. I know. I can't either. But I'll tell you what, that would have been one where you lose your freaking marbles, right? That would have been one where you go bonkers. All right, 505-246-0610. I know it's been all Lobel basketball, and it can continue to be. That was an insane one last night. Get you up to date on some NFL stuff that we've got going on because, well, we're down to the Final Four, and we got conference championship games. And coming up, Patriots have made a hire, which is actually going to be very interesting to you, I think. We'll get through that. I've got a bunch of other stuff in the NFL as well. What Stephon Diggs had to say in regards to all the criticism coming his way. And if you want to continue on Lobel basketball, it is here for you. The number is area code 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I can tell you about International Protective Service. I do every day because they protect my home. And I'm really glad they do. IPS keeps the bad guys away, not just in my home, but hundreds of homes and businesses throughout our area because the bad guys are on the rise. The officer shortage continues, and IPS offers you affordable private security in the form of highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols. They respond to alarms when they go off within 5 to 7 minutes. They do extra things. You're out of town, they'll roll the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. They'll pick up newspaper or mail or packages that are left delivered on your porch until you get back so someone else doesn't pick them up. I had an instance one time, and I told you this. It was bowl week, and I was at the hotel. My brother left the garage door open. 3-something in the morning, my phone's ringing because IPS is outside making sure nobody comes into my house through their garage and waiting there until someone went down and closed the garage door. That's what they do. Call them and see what they can do for you. Committed to our city and your protection. 505-897-2420 is IPS's number. 505-897-2420. Or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years.
I'll give you a little football real quick, and we'll get back to the phones. The Patriots went this whole season kind of, was it Matt Patricia was kind of running the offense? Is that what was going on there?
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien is back as their offensive coordinator, returning with Bill Belichick. According to a report, he was the Patriots. He was on their staff from 2007 to 2011. Remember, he was the head coach with the Texans. He was just with Alabama. So the Patriots have decided that they need to do something with their offense, and Bill O'Brien is the guy. 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery hotline as well as your text line. JJ House is taking it. And I'm going to tell you, like, Jalen House, you're not nearly as good as you are without Jalen House. Do we agree with this?
Absolutely.
Now, does House get a little out of control? You can say yes.
Yes.
Okay. But he's really taken it, and he got there were some turnovers at the end of the game. This one says again and again, Jalen House, too many bonehead mistakes cost us the game at the end. Too busy playing with his mouthpiece. Alfred outcoached Patino.
Until they win, and then they're going to love Jalen House. So it's going to be the biggest praise or the biggest.
If House would have hit
negative.
That shot at the end of regulation,
oh my
he'd be
God,
a
he would be a
legend.
hero.
He'd be a legend.
And he's been Player of the Week the last.
Well, he won.
Mashburn.
Yeah,
Mashburn the week before. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Jalen House is the people that are out on him are out.
Right.
Like, if he hit that shot, they'd still say, well, he only needed it to hit that shot because of the way he played down the stretch. Like, there is a very strong line of for or against Jalen House for the people that don't like his style of play.
So Jalen House last night, and I thought he had more turnovers. He had 4, and him and Dent had, and they had 19 overall. 17 points in 47 minutes. He had 10 assists last night. If Jalen House doesn't play pro ball, and he will play pro ball, I don't know if he'll play in the NBA, but he'll play pro ball. It'll be because he is a little inconsistent, out of control. When he's the most dynamic player I've seen around here in a long time. He is terrific, and he's won you some games. I don't think he lost you the game last night. Now, he didn't inbound the ball, but and the ball was in his hands at the end. But you got a lot of things to look at. I'm looking at the end of the first overtime. 5-second count, they hit a 3. You're down by 2. 24-second shot clock violation. They go down and tie it. And then you get tied up. You didn't get a shot off in the last minute and a half. But I don't know, saying Jalen House, you guys all of a sudden lit this thing up, didn't you? One line open at 505-246-0610. Hello, Sherm.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So I look at it just a little bit different. I mean, in a 1 or 2 point game, every play becomes even more significant, right?
Yep.
So we can say that not inbounding the ball, that was either, quote, a mental error, or maybe it was just really, really good defense.
Yep, it was.
I
think,
think,
Sherm, I think it was really good defense. And here's what I think, and I don't know this, okay? I don't know this. But I'm going to guess in the timeout, Richard probably drew up what we wants to do. And with 11 seconds to go, we go with the high pick. And I wonder if he drew up a side inbounds play, wondering, not realizing that Steve was going to come out and pressure as much as he did.
No, I'm with you 100%. For me, what cost the Lobos the game were the 19 turnovers.
100%.
Yes, we can look at the flagrant foul, and if that hadn't happened. But the reality is, it would not have been a 1 or 2 point game if we hadn't had 19 turnovers.
Yeah, I think that's right. And make some free throws down the stretch, too. Yeah.
And I love Patino. He is a really good coach.
I agree with that.
But so is Alfred and Noodles. They're really good coaches, too. So, great coaches, 2 great ball teams. I mean, if we would have won, we would have all be so excited and talk about what a great game it was.
Let me tell you
the
something.
reality is, it really was a great game.
Yeah, if you didn't have a horse in that fight, it was a great game. And if you look at some of the Twitter from around the league, wow, this New Mexico Nevada game is a great game to watch. It was a great college basketball game. So, all right, Sherm, we'll talk to you.
Indeed. All right, take care.
See you. Why can't I get rid of that? John, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I didn't get to, and I'm calling to ask, and I listened to it on the radio, and the radio team sounded like that flagrant foul wasn't really a flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that, and was it?
Yeah, so
against Lobos?
Yeah, John, we've been talking about this all morning and appreciate it. Happy to do it again. So Mo gets the rebound and guys are reaching at him. And I think you and me and pretty much anybody who sees it believes that there should have been a foul called. They didn't call a foul. Mo swings his elbow and he does take his left arm off the ball and extends his left hand and hits. Was it Baker? Who was it that he hit? Above the neck.
Foster?
All right, I think it was Foster. You're right. And so, John, to the letter of the law, yeah, it was a flagrant foul. Now, they didn't call it. They didn't call a flagrant foul. They let him play on. I firmly believe the officials didn't want to make a call to decide the game. Alfred went nuts. The ball gets outletted up court. Richard called timeout. Now, if they didn't call timeout, I don't know that they would have ever looked at this if the Lobos would have gone down and hit a game-winning shot. But I'm not blaming Richard for calling timeout. Called timeout because there was no call. He's setting up his last play. Well, during the timeout, the officials looked at it. And JJ, don't you agree? I think we all do. It was a flagrant foul, right? By the letter of the law, it's a flagrant foul.
By not wanting to influence the game, they influenced the game.
Yeah. So, John, they missed the common foul. There should have been a foul before that. If they'd have called a foul, Mo wouldn't have gotten so frustrated. I mean, like common, like just instinct. Dudes are hacking at you. Get off me! And he extended his arm. So yeah, John, it by the letter of law, it was a flagrant foul. But there were fouls before that should have been called. Kevin, good morning.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Well, I'm going to compare this to something. You're like Gulliver's Travel. You're Gulliver, right?
Okay.
And the people are the Lilliputians. Somebody talking about Jalen House with his mouthpiece. You know something? Quit complaining. Quit complaining. We are jumping through hoops to get these games. We're playing at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, 9 o'clock. We just were willing to do everything to get some recognition with this thing. We've been trying to do this all the time. I see UNLV, San Diego State, Nevada on the thing. We don't even get a nod, not a nod, or whatever, to get this thing done. So trying to quit complaining. And another thing, put your money where your mouth is. Become a booster. Throw in $1,000. What do you think?
All right. Well, I appreciate the call, Kevin. I'll tell you what I think. I'm not sure what he means by we don't get a nod. Why do you think Nevada gets more of a nod or more favor than UNM in this league? San Diego State might. San Diego State might get some of the primetime slots, although they play late night games. 9 o'clock starts here, 8 o'clock starts there. But they're the brand in this league, right? They're the proven brand. Who else gets preferential treatment? I hear that all the time. Our scheduling, we get hosed on scheduling. Everybody kind of gets hosed.
The way your schedule played out is you get every one of your conference games on Fox Sports or CBS Sports Network.
No, every one of your games. If you're not playing in those windows,
So maybe you have to play at a 9 o'clock tip-off on Friday as opposed to an 8 so you can get the TV exposure.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Well, you're coming hard today, and I think it's beautiful. Continue your thoughts on Louisville basketball last night. We'll get to the NFL stuff as well as we go on. I love that you're angry, you're upset, passionate. You're running the gamut today, and I think most of you realize you got a really good team. You got a really good team. And if you want to blame it all on one play, that's cool. But I think this is the beauty of a Louisville basketball fan for the most part. I think you see the big picture. I think you saw the whole game. I think you realize what happened last night. You're cranky because it matters. And that's kind of the beauty of it. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
In Reno, the biggest little city in the world, that was the biggest little loss in a long time, wasn't it? The biggest little loss in quite some time. 97-94, double overtime, Lobos fall to Nevada. It hurt because the way it happened. It hurt because you had a shot to win it in regulation. It hurt because you had a 5-point lead in the ball with 1:04 in the first overtime. It hurts because they call on review a flagrant foul on Morris Udeze, which gives Nevada the winning margin. It hurts because Alfred and Noodles are on the other side. And you know the biggest reason it hurts? It hurts because it matters. And that's in some sick, demented, twisted, weird sort of a way why it's so cool. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah.
Like, it's not cool that you lost. That's not what I'm saying. It's cool that it matters again, that you're 18-3, that you were ranked, I mean, if this happened 2 years ago, yeah, you'd be pissed. But not like this. Not as passionate as you are. This phone bank has been lit up all morning with people that we don't hear from normally. This is really, really cool. That's why it matters. And that's why in big picture for me, and I'm not telling you losing is cool. That's not what I'm saying. But that's why this whole thing is cool, because you're really good and you're relevant. Kyle, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good, Kyle. What's happening?
Hey, well, I just want to jump. It was a perfect intro to what I want to talk about. I think, yeah, it's heartbreaking losing to Alford and to Neal. I don't think I have as much ill will against them as most Lobo fans, but you know that's always a heartbreak. But I think we finally saw at the end of the first overtime this team break down mentally a little bit. You know, I think we've taken for granted the maturity that this team has shown throughout the entire year. And those 3 possessions where we didn't even get a shot off on all 3 just really showed some of this immaturity. I think that Pitino's such a great coach that he's going to really reel it in and use this as a learning experience for these guys. You know, how often do we lose a game and our net goes up? So I think a great show this morning, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Appreciate you, Kyle. No, that's really good. I 100% on the maturity thing. I think maturity's won them games, right? I think maturity won them the San Francisco game. I think maturity won them the game at St. Mary's. I think maturity won them the game in San Diego. Now, I mean, hitting shots and defending and rebounding also did, but right, being really, really smart and careful with the ball. I'm not going to tell you they were immature last night, JJ, but they made mistakes last night at the end of the first overtime that was very unlike this club.
Yeah, it's also one where tired minds go one-on-one. And your execution's not going to look as good 45, 50 minutes into a game. And it's both teams. It's becomes a lot of one-on-one basketball, a lot of tough shot making. Just get inside, hopefully get to the foul line, grab a tough rebound, go up with the basketball. You lose a lot of the flow once you start to get to overtime.
Yeah, and the tired thing is really an issue. I thought the Lobos looked fresher. Now I thought both teams looked tired, right?
It's just the reality of it. Like, even in the moment with the timeouts of the games playing out, your starting front court is playing 45, 47 minutes.
Yep.
Your back court is playing 43 and 46 minutes. Even a conditioned athlete, your mind and body at the end of the game is going to be a little bit tired. So you're pushing through that. And so you're losing some of that, just the execution, the flow that you had early in the game.
Yeah, and you played 2 nights ago and traveled, and so I think there's something to it. And they were off for a week, and that's just scheduling's going to happen. You're going to catch teams on a bye. Somebody's going to catch you on a bye. It just how it happens. I'm not angry at that. The crazy part is you're going to remember the end of the game. You're going to remember that play. You're going to remember the flagrant. And we can talk about the rule all we want. I mean, to me, if you're going to review, then review. If you're going to go back and review, well, was it a flagrant? Yes, it was a flagrant, but you know what else it was? It's a personal foul too. So, but they should be able to do that.
No.
You don't think they should?
No. It's already a mess. It's NFL pass interference all over again.
So if you're going to go back and review all this stuff, you could say, wow, we missed that guy getting hit across the face, but he responded for getting hit across the face by throwing an elbow. So I know he got hit and we can't call that, but we're going to penalize the second guy, even though we're looking at it frame by frame.
Yeah. Because
I disagree.
Then you have to insert more challenges.
Do you?
And yes, you do.
Because why are you looking at it? Because why are you looking at it?
And when do you stop it for a common foul?
Yeah, and you're looking at it because you think there might be a flagrant, and that's why you're looking at it. And so
I do not want to see that.
It does open up another can of worms, but in a play like that, I mean, you understand why Mo threw the arm, right?
Yeah.
Dude, get off me. You're
it,
beating the crap out of me.
But I do not want to then see, oh, by the way, refs, we already think you struggle. Let's go insert calling common fouls and figure out when we can challenge that or when we can add a miss to that.
That's interesting. All right, I've been having an interesting conversation with Frank over the text, and he says, so let me reset this. And Amory, how much time before the break? Because I might want to reset this at the top when we get back from the break. Actually, we're coming up on it. I'm going to tell you, and I'll reset this at the top. I've been telling you that, and I'm not angry. This is not me saying Richard shouldn't have called the timeout. But if they don't call a timeout and go down there and hit the walk-off, what happens? Do I have time for this? I don't? All right, we'll take the call when we get back. And you guys are hitting it at 505-246-0610. I'm going to, and if you're there, I'm going to ask you to hold through this break. Oh, we're going to continue this conversation. Frank thinks that it worked in UNM's favor by calling the timeout. I still disagree with him, but I'll tell you the conversation we've been having there and how that might have played out. Good stuff this morning, man. Really good stuff. 505-246-0610. Talking Lobo basketball. You know why? Because it freaking matters. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone.
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 a.m. where have you been? 7 a.m. where ain't your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Castillo, and J.J. Bach.
Well, we've been talking about some big wins around here recently for Lobo basketball. Winning in San Diego, beating the Aztecs. Friday night last week, Boise State in overtime. As fun as that was, this was as that rough last night. Losing in double overtime in Reno, blowing a 5-point lead with the ball with a minute 4 in first overtime, and then having the ball, or at least you thought you did, with 16 seconds to go in regulation in a tie game, and then having a reviewed flagrant foul call on Morris Udeze and losing the game by 3. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, and Adrian. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Boy, you have a lot of reaction today and want to hear from you. I got a whole lot more thoughts to share with you on what went down and how it went down. Ralph, thanks for holding. What's up, Ralph?
Hey, I just want to say, Jeff, I kind of agree with you, and I just kind of curious on that flagrant foul when they went to look at it. Why wasn't that first foul called? I mean, I understand like what JJ was saying that yes, they were looking for the flagrant, but in the same token, I would think that they would call that foul.
Are you asking why they didn't call it initially, or why didn't they call on the review?
Initially, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes,
here's my thought on that, Ralph, and I don't know, but I'm going to guess the officials didn't want to decide the game in that moment. They were letting them play, so they didn't call the initial foul, and they didn't call the offensive foul on Morris either, right? They didn't call it in the moment. My guess is they wanted to let this thing play out, and then when Richard called the timeout, they were obligated to go back and look at the replay, and they do not have, and JJ was saying this, the authority to call a common foul. They can assess the flagrant, but they could probably look at it and go, man, yeah, dude, we missed that one, but I guess we can't do anything about it. But we have to call this flagrant. And it was. I mean, I think we all look at it and say, yeah, that's the definition of a flagrant foul.
Right. It definitely was, yes. I would just think that they would call the first one first before. They seemed like they let it go until a point where they became a flagrant, because it was a foul right away, and then it seemed like ref just didn't blow his whistle.
Yep.
It was just kind of hanging on to it just to see what was going to happen.
Yeah, I think.
But that was a great game. I don't blame the game on House or anybody else. I think the Lobos played tough, and I think that's just they're going to grow on it. I think it's going to make them better.
Yeah. Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So, JJ, you hit it on the head. That trying to let the game play out, not trying to decide the game with a whistle, led to deciding the game with a whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's really frustrating, but they don't go back on common fouls if none was called. So they don't do that. They couldn't have done that in that situation.
It's not within their authority.
Oh, we missed it, so we're going to go back and call that. They can't do that. They can't just change the rules in the moment. They can look at flagrant fouls. They can go back and see if they missed contact to the head or neck area, as frustrating as it is. But by the refs wanting to let it play out, it penalized the Lobos.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I'm not mad at Mo. I guess, you got dudes slapping you, and they're not defending you. You got to defend yourself. The official isn't taking care of you. Get off me.
And then it was, he could have gotten away with the elbow.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was the extended left arm.
Because then you really get into the whole cylinder conversation, just protecting your space. Refs didn't want to call anything, but then once the forearm play stopped, good old video review.
I think we all agree that there was a foul before Mo started throwing, and that's what led.
And
to it.
there's so much down the stretch to unpack from this game. It's a forearm that's heard around the West. Then the Lobos had 3 turnovers in the final minute, the first overtime period. They struggled to execute. The game's going to get tight. You have tough shot makers, and I think that's. If I would change anything, even though they're denying Mash the ball, a few more touches in the overtime periods for Jamal Mashburn would have been nice to see.
Chris, good morning.
Good morning. About the game, it reminds me of a story. 2 mice fell into a bucket of cream. One mouse just didn't work, gave up. The second mouse worked really hard. He turned that cream into butter, and he got out. Morris, you're that second mouse, and that's the spirit that the Lobos need. Let's be the second mouse, guys.
Thank you, Chris. He turned it into butter.
For walking.
It's
Doing impression.
You know, it's really good. It's really good. I don't think anybody's mad at Mo for doing it, right? It's not one of those things where you look at it and you just go, "What was he doing?" All right, here's a conversation I was having with Frank. So I've asked this question: if Richard doesn't call the timeout, and again, I'm going to preface this. I'm not mad at Richard for calling a timeout. I'm not telling you he made a mistake by calling timeout. After Mo gets the rebound, gets those guys off of him, he outlets the pass, and he called the timeout. That timeout is what allowed them, because I don't think they were stopping the clock, to go look at the flagrant foul. During the timeout is when the officials went and looked at it and called the flagrant foul. If the Lobos don't call timeout, go down, and let's just say they hit a shot, whoever it is, hits a shot at the buzzer, they win the game, 96-94, they walk off. Do they replay? Do they relook at that play? I don't think they do. And from what I understand, they don't. The game's over. They don't go back and look at it. Now, if they go down and miss, you got an intermission between second and third overtime. Can they look at it and assess it? Then they can. So Frank says by taking the timeout, it actually worked in UNM's favor, JJ. This is where I disagree with him. But he says it worked in UNM's favor because they get to take the final shot. If they missed it and the game went to third overtime, the officials could have reviewed it. Flagrant one on Mo, and Nevada gets free throws with no time left. Okay? That's what he says would have happened. Because we were asking that, right? I said yes, but they would have had to put time back on the clock, right? And if they hit a walk-off, are they reviewing it and calling them back on the court? Probably not. Frank says, yeah, I think Vern was reviewing it no matter what. See, I don't know that. And if they hit the shot, can he go back and say that shot didn't happen? But he says no time goes back on the clock. Quirk in the rule. The bigger issue on the review, they cannot call a foul for that push-off. It was the elbow contacting the head. But there is a rule on review that if a player has a ball and makes contact like that, it's not a flagrant. If the opposing player is considered in his space, which he was. That's new this year. It's called the cylinder rule. So what Frank is saying is, even though Mo made contact to the head, evidently there's a rule that it's not a flagrant with the opposing player in the cylinder. Now he says, don't get a 5-second, which he got, or a shot clock violation, and you're fine. Which we're going back to the first overtime. So I responded and I said, when would he have reviewed it if he hit the walk-off? And they absolutely need to be able to call the original foul and review. And so Frank said they would blow the whistle. This is what he's telling me. If the Lobos would have gone down, hit a shot, and won the game by 2. He said they'd have blown the whistle, kept the teams there, and review it. Cannot officially review for the original fouls. You can only review for a flagrant. NBA, yes, they could have assessed. So they could have assessed a Nevada foul. The one official. Boy, this is crazy, man. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
Well, the whole cylinder conversation, does that go out the window with the extension of the arm, if we want to get detailed in this?
So he's saying yes. If it's in the cylinder, he's saying that.
So you can still throw a forearm or a stiff arm at player. That's outside the cylinder.
That's how I'm reading what Frank tells me. Yeah.
So I understand the elbow and the swinging motions. The extension of the arm.
And what he's saying is if UNM would have hit a 2, if they hit a 3 with zeros on the clock, then everything's moot because they can't win it on 2 free throws. If he says if New Mexico hits a 3 with, say, a second left, they get 2 free throws and they inbound the ball into the basket where the F1 occurred with a shot to tie or win. He says at least Pitino's timeout when he called it left time for something, although it sucks. He used his timeout to set up a play to win thinking it was tied. Wow. Mike, good morning. Wow,
indeed.
Good morning, guys. What a game.
Yeah.
What a game. Hey, I'm telling you what, man, I love my team. I love the Lobos. I think, you know what, they're not going to go undefeated. To go into their arena and to just how that game ended was brutal. I'll tell you the truth. It was a tough night. But, I wake up this morning with a new view. I got a great team that I root for. I'm going to be there when Nevada comes into town. I can tell you what, if they don't sell out this week for that game, I'm going to be surprised. We got a chance to redeem ourselves against them. But you know what? This team's going to get better. I mean, we had a chance. We were up 5. We got the ball back. We had an inbounds play. It didn't go our way. It didn't go our way the next time. And it's a learning moment. But just after the game, there was a post interview with the coach. He said, they asked him the question, did you see the foul? Meaning, did you see the foul on Udeze? He said, I didn't see the play. I couldn't see it. So when he called that timeout, it was on the premise that there was no foul at that moment, and that he just wanted to call a play.
That's correct. No, 100% correct. Look, I don't blame Richard for calling a timeout there and setting up a play, because it went on. They outletted the ball. The ball crossed midcourt, and he called a timeout to set up a play to win the game. And,
exactly. Yeah.
So, all right, man. Thanks, Mike. All right, this is fascinating. I don't know what could have been and what would have been. Frank's contention is, it's good that they called the timeout, because they would have gone back and reviewed it one way or another, and at least there was time on the clock to go down and try to win the game. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Lobo basketball is back. It's relevant. You care. It was exciting. It was exhausting. It was exasperating. It was frustrating, but your team is pretty good.
Yes, Lobo basketball is back, and I have the perfect spot for you to come for all your pregame home games. That is 377 Brewery. I've been telling you about 377 Brewery. It's on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson. We are back at it. Your girl, Amory, is hosting a pregame party before every home Lobo game. This Friday, we return as the Lobos take on Air Force at home. Pregame starts 5 to 7 p.m. It's right around the corner from the pit. It gets you 4 to 6 p.m. It gives you plenty of time to get over to the pit. We have food specials, drink specials, prize giveaways. It's a lot of fun. We want to fill the 377 Brewery with Lobo fans. Get you ready for your game. Come check it out. I know people have told me they've been to 377 Brewery. Where does everyone party? Well, there's a huge event space in the back. You got to check it out. So come again this Friday before the Lobos take on Air Force. Come check it out, or check them out at 377brewery.com.
Say my name, say my name.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with two
sports animal.
JJ is trying to explain the M&M controversy to me. I still don't get it. And I'm not sure I want to. My daughter was trying
Please
to explain
don't.
it to me yesterday,
Just
too.
don't. Just.
And I'm like, what?
Give me my peanut butter
Just-
M&Ms, please.
They're trying. Yeah.
All right,
M&Ms offend people now. So.
Evidently, man. Can M&M still be my go-to chocolate?
Yes.
All right. That's all I want to know.
Just support the new lady M&M.
That's all I want to know. Oh, now you're going to tell me what you do?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what we do now.
All right. Lobos lose last night in a just insane fashion. You know, this is one of those. JJ said something to me earlier today. Well, I've never seen that before, and it is continuing to be, as much as we've watched sports over the years, more and more of these I've never seen it before moments. Right? Your Lobo basketball team is good. They lost last night, 97-94 in Reno in double overtime on a controversial call at the end, and blew a 5-point lead with a ball with 1:04 in the first overtime. And I mean, so much stuff I've never seen before. I don't know why I've seen a game end like that last night. I was trying to think. There's calls late in the game, and while this is such a tough one because you want to blame it on the refs. And JJ, we always sit here and say, let them play at the end. Let them decide it. Let them, let these guys go. I don't want to whistle the side at the end. And if there would have been a call on Nevada, Steve would have lost his mind. He'd have been wrong. And who knows? Maybe Mo goes down, hits one of two. You got a 1-point lead, and Nevada gets the last shot, right? Is that odds on? Instead, the officials decided, oh, let's let them play. I don't want to decide the game. They let them play. It leads to a frustration flagrant one by Morris Udeze. What do you want at the end of a game? Like, what do you want out of your officials? Because if you're a Nevada fan, you don't want that called. You're saying he didn't touch him. Well, he did. What do you want at the end of the game? A foul's a foul?
Foul's a foul. I do, because of what happened by not calling the game. It cost the Lobos a shot at the game.
I think that's
to put the pressure on Nevada. Instead, Nevada, flagrant, free throw, more free throws.
And then a really bad
with
possession.
with everything that's gone on, it was still
you saw the shot
there with the shot, but you'd rather it be a shot in a tie game, of course. Staring at third overtime, than down 3, forcing something up, and Nevada just sitting on everyone on the perimeter.
You know what we haven't talked about? The last possession. And if there is room for criticism, is that it? Because they looked out of sort, like they didn't know what they were doing on the last shot. And I don't know. Richard designed obviously something for a last shot being tied as opposed to down by 3 when he was in the huddle. You would think they'd have something. Let's go to. Remember when we drew up that play for? We called it whatever. We called it M&Ms. Is that all right? We don't call things M&Ms anymore. Whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? You and I sat here and we just watched a few minutes ago. We watched the final possession. Man, I mean, Nevada didn't foul. There was no movement. It was.
And that's the right play. There was too much time to.
No, I agree. House came
fouling,
down, handed it to Dent. Dent gave it back to House. House dribbled. He was really well defended at the top of the key. KJ Jenkins was behind him out by the logo, and it didn't look like anybody else was really moving. It was House by himself, and he leaned and threw up a prayer. And I'm thinking, I mean, look, as bad as that last call was, I kind of expected the last possession to be better than that.
It was rough,
right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking, I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking to criticize. I'm really not. I think they played a great game. I think they played well enough to win. I thought they were the better team. I thought it was over at the end of the first overtime with 1:04 to go. But I did expect better execution on that last possession, and certainly on a side inbounds play. And at the end of the first overtime, I'm going to guess Richard probably in the timeout said, "All right, here's what we're going to do: get it in and hold it." And at 12, and I guess I learned this in that all access game, right? He had a name for it, but that high pick that Mo comes up at 10 or 12 on the shot clock, and they run that. And I'm going to guess that's what he designed, and then probably didn't design an inbounds play. And credit to Alfred and Noodles for coming out and defending the hell out of that. And look, you, me, and Amory, we watch it in real time. I believe it was 5 seconds. I did. It was a tight 5, but I believe it was 5. And they didn't get the ball in. Yes.
It's better. So what I learned playing basketball for a very long time in my life, and just trying to be positive, don't come at me. I believe it was a 5-second call, but it's better to turn it over that way than throw it in and have a missed pass and get in transition and be a mess.
That's fine.
I'm just trying to make people feel better. At least you can set up something.
It's a better.
Especially if
that
you're throwing
turnover is better than a high. It's not.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
No,
not a pick six turnover.
So I was taught by my coach my whole life that take the 5-second call over throwing a bad.
So a dead ball turnover is better than a pick 6 the other way.
Correct.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just give a little positivity for people out there. That's what I was trying to tell myself last night.
They still should have got the damn ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate your.
Just trying to help people feel better.
Yeah, I appreciate where you're coming from on that.
On decision making, as a player.
So Steve said, just tuning in, can the refs go back like that and make a call? They did. Yeah. I mean, obviously they can. And Steve, we've had this conversation, but since you're just tuning in and we know the audience turns over, the refs can go back and review for a flagrant but not a common foul, right? So the fouls that you saw against Nevada hacking Mo before that are not reviewable, but the flagrant, and I think we all agree it was a flagrant, the flagrant is reviewable. And that's what happened last night. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. The whole way it played out. Again, it falls back into that cupboard.
The drama over the last 3 days for Lobo basketball, from Leon Rice thinking the baseball team set his team up, the Lobo baseball team set his team up at halftime, to the forum heard around the West. The return game in Boise is going to be off the charts. When Nevada comes here, full pit. Good basketball team. Steve Alford, Craig Neal walking down that ramp. Drama around the Mountain West.
They should both come down in their cherry blazers. They should. The crowd wouldn't know what to do. If Noodles and Alford both came down in cherry blazers.
I don't think Steve's that guy.
You don't think he would?
No.
Noodles might. I think they're over it too. But they're going to be over it until they walk down the ramp. And then they're going to, we're back in it. And they really, look, both of them loved this place. They had a lot of success together here. Francisco, good morning. What's happening?
Yeah, good morning, guys. the way I look at that game last night, yeah, would I have loved to win it? Yeah, definitely. But that game right there is going to be a game that's going to prepare us for March. Look, we've had high rankings. We win Mountain West titles and all that. We won one game under Alford in the tournament. One.
Over Montana.
This team, if this team just can get the experience, they're a young team as far as playing together. So they're still learning what they can and can't do. So they saw a lot of things that they couldn't do last night. With smaller guards, maybe just more motion offense, They were tired also by the end. I mean, come on. No excuses to lose that game, but, hey, you know what? That's going to prepare them for March, and that's what really matters to us. I mean, come on, let's admit it. We love to win. We love Mountain West titles. But, man, we want a Sweet 16. And this team, if you can get – and the coach, too. The coach learned something last night because he made a couple little mistakes there. And he'll probably go back and change it next time. But if you don't have that experience, how are you going to know what to do? So it was a great game a great battle. I mean, you saw a lot of two teams playing very hard to win a game.
Yep.
That's what you want to see, man. And the Mountain West has got a lot of good teams.
Yep, and a lot of good coaches.
Hopefully that'll prepare us for the tournament,
No, it's a good call, Francisco, and appreciate you. And I think that's a really good point. You got to play close games. And I mean, you're going to get in these situations. You got to learn from it. Nevada's good, man. They got good coaches too, but you know what? Your team's good. And I've said this 15 times today and I'll say it more. The reason this hurt you so much is because it matters, because you're good, because all those things, because you were ranked, because the league is tight, because all of a sudden you're in 5th place now with a 5-3 record, because it mattered, because you're coming off 2 of your biggest wins, and because Noodles and Alford were on the other side, and because it freaking matters in the big scheme. And that we're back to that.
These are seed-changing games.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. Now they're seated higher than you. Yeah. All right, 5. Keep them coming. I know you are. At some point today, too, Tommy loses it on his own. I don't know if he loses. That's not fair. Is it fair? Tommy gets frustrated on his own podcast. Feisty? I'll give you that. Tom Brady, when asked, "Hey, what's the timeline for your winning for your deciding you're going to retire?" He was asked that. A couple F-bombs in there. If you're there, stay there. Get to you. We got a text in from Reno as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
Win tickets, airfare, 4 nights hotel, and
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Carried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is. with this shot. They got a shot up with 5 seconds.
Transition threes up. And it hit at the buzzer by Ian Koenigsberg.
Picture perfect execution. Ball that hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Kalb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Kalb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Kalb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually happen. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera with...
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that is turned up. They force another turnover. Kalb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Kalb puts it down. Brian Kalb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
Out of Reno, again, I got a good buddy up there. He's a UNR guy, and he knows the game well. He said refs had to look at the call on the flagrant one at the end. Their hands were tied. He says, trust me, we wanted to win, but not that way. I didn't watch the foul shots because ball usually don't lie, but Foster managed the second one. And he said Lobos by 23 on the 7th. Nevada's good. I think, my eyes, what I see out of Lobos, I think are a better team. They didn't win last night. Ray, how you feeling?
How's it going, guys?
Good. What's happening?
Are you there?
Yeah. What's up, Ray?
No, I was just saying that flagrant was called when the Lobos called a timeout, but the one where House got elbowed in the mouth, you could see the elbow was a clear elbow right into the mouth before the blocking.
Yeah. Why didn't they call that? Is what you're saying? Yeah, it's fair. Why didn't they look at that?
Shook his head and said no.
Yeah.
That's part of almost the same thing, but the referee didn't review it then.
Yep.
And that's one thing I said. And then another thing, too, is what no one's talking about is that one where they had the offensive goaltending interference when his hand was in the cylinder when the guy made the basket. You think that should have been called, but like Patino said, you guys said it, I can't say it. But that was obvious, and they gave him the 2 points.
Yeah, I don't remember that
So
one.
I was wondering what to say about that.
All right, Ray, thanks. I don't know that call. Do you?
Nothing jumps off my head in goaltending right now.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. All right, Rule 11-2.1.d. It's a new rule on instant replay, cylinder and hook and hold plays. Here's how it reads. Thank you, Steve, for this. Following a call by an official involving either swinging of the elbows, cylinder play, or a hook and hold play, the official may use instant replay to review and adjudicate the play by removing fouls, assessing fouls, or concluding that no foul occurred. So there's two things in here, JJ. First, it says assessing foul, but the first part of it says following a call by an official, and there was no call by an official here. This was a replay, a review simply to look for a flagrant foul, and I believe that to be the difference why 11-2.1.d doesn't apply, because it does clearly state that they can assess a foul there after a call, and there was no call.
There was no call. And if we're getting down to rule-11.ac, sector 4, F5, this and that, Mo went out of the cylinder. Once you extend that forearm, that's no longer your cylinder just swinging the elbows.
But what about them in his cylinder? Like trying to protect himself.
If he hit the elbow, they could have used a cylinder call.
But he missed on the elbow.
The forearm.
Yeah. Look, it was flagrant. I I don't hear anybody telling me it wasn't a flagrant foul.
No.
Right? I think what you're hearing is they missed.
Called a foul before that.
Mhm. That's what I'm hearing. Whew! All right. Alfred's Lobo teams also beat Long Beach State in the NCAA tournament, so they won 2. They beat Long Beach State and Montana, right? He's correcting the last caller who said they only beat 1. All right. Here's something on the last play. Let me give you this one. Lobos didn't run anything at the end of regulation, the first overtime, or the second overtime. They gave the ball to House, Mash, or Dent with a high pick and let that player try to create. Everyone ends up standing around watching the guy with the ball, and whoever has the ball ends up going hero ball. Good defensive teams like Nevada with bigger athletic guards who have length will make it look like it did last night at the end, which is basically make us look bad. We didn't get a single good look at the end of overtime, and overtime number 2. They needed to run a play for a 3 at the end, and basically it was House trying to beat a much bigger guy for a shot. No off-ball screens for Mash or any other shooters. Basically, they needed to run something to get good looks rather than give these guys the ball and let them go. That won't work against better defensive teams as they get deeper into the season. All 3 losses had really bad offensive possessions late in those games, and Mash did get fouled on the drive where they called a jump ball. Not by the player who got the tie-up, but by the guy who was guarding him with the same type of contact that Mash was called for twice on the other end. It's from David. Okay. So he's saying the hip foul that you were talking about.
That, yeah.
Okay.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
It's you're gonna no call, but then call. Then people are gonna pick apart every single thing because I still think that the jump ball was the right call in that instance.
Yeah, I thought there was slight contact, and it was all ball on the ball. But I thought the last play, the last possession was rough, man. And look, the second to last possession of the first overtime, after you had the 5-second violation, they tied it. They brought it down to 2. Then you went down and looked completely disjointed and took the 24-second clock, or not the 30-second clock violation, and you had nothing going there. And then he's not wrong. The next time down was Mash, go to work. Now, the end of the regulation, you have 3 seconds to go the full length of the court, and Mash got a great look. I got no problem with that. I'm sorry, House got a great look. I got no problem with that one. None. All right. 505-246-0610. Can I give you a little Tom Brady stuff since I teased you this? All right, so Tom Brady, as you well know, is a free agent. His contract's up with Tampa Bay. He's 40. He'll be 46 next season, football season. By the way, happy birthday today to Associate Athletic Director and dad of Lobo star Mac Manzanatos. Ed Manzanatos' birthday today. Happy birthday to him. But Tommy's birthday is coming up. He's going to be 46. So who's he going to play? So he does his podcast with Jim Gray. Jim Gray is his guy. Jim Gray is really good. It's a guy Tommy trusts. It's the Let's Go podcast. Jim Gray had the gall not to ask Tommy, are you retiring? No. He didn't ask him that. He asked him about the timeline. The timeline. If he put any timeline. Listen to Jim Gray and Tommy yesterday. No, you don't. Tommy, Jim, do you remember the rules? You don't get scratchy. You do not scratch when you're on my podcast, or I'll get someone else to lob me softballs. What do you make of that? Like, why? He didn't ask him about the decision. I mean, I don't know, Tom, how do you expect to do some sort of postseason podcast and not somewhat address the timeline? Is Jim Gray out of line there?
No.
Tommy a little scratchy?
Feisty.
I can't wait. And this is, I don't know when this is going to come out. And it might be 10 years from now. I want the 30 for 30 on this year's season for Tommy. right? I kind of want, to sit down and hear what Tom went through this year, maybe even Giselle's point of view, Todd Bowles' point of view, his teammates' point of view, Jim Gray's point of view. There's so much more in that answer than just football. You know what I mean? There's so much more frustration. Yeah. There is so much more than just, I'm tired of hearing that question in that. You know what I mean? And again, I don't know Tom Brady. I kind of know human nature a little bit. I know what people go through. I know when I hear frustration that's based on build-up. Tom get paid for those? I mean, he makes money on his podcast, right? But I mean, this isn't about money for him, right?
I'm sure there's an element of something.
So why do it? Like, if you don't, why don't we just say, what, we're not doing it? If you're at that point where I just don't want to have this conversation, you're that guy. Why do it?
So it comes across as frustrating, feisty, but you know that he's going to ask you that. I doubt that in that podcast setup that they just sit down and he's asked all these questions cold. Like, that's probably not the way it works when Tom Brady sits down in that environment. So was he trying to send a message? Was he just trying to make a soundbite at that moment in time? Because it wasn't out of the blue that the question was coming up. They probably discussed it prior. Like, hey, Tom, I'm going to ask you about this, okay? And then to still have that kind of reaction is interesting from Tom Brady.
Interesting. Yeah. It was... Yeah, I don't know if it was out of character, but it kind of was, wasn't it? Especially in that setting.
Because you know it's coming. They probably talked about it before. The timetable of you being a free agent quarterback at 45 years old. What's the plan? Really not an unfair, bizarre... I mean, if everybody's listening, anybody's listening to that, that's what they're listening for, correct? Correct. That's the... I mean, do they really care about the incomplete that you threw on fourth down and that was... Like, no. That's what they're listening for. That's what they care about. All right, let's wrap it up. I got a little bit more correspondence from you on the text line, on the email. You got time to get in. You could get on Tommy if you want. Bill O'Brien's back with the Patriots, and the Lobos lose last night to Reno. 97-94. Dang, was that a ball game last night, though. Were you not entertained? I know you were. It's relevant again, and it matters. And boy, have you shown it today. Really appreciate you being with us. I know you got a lot of different opportunities, a lot of things you could be doing on a Tuesday morning. Thank you for listening to the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way.
The sports animal. Let's be the second mouse. Oh, yeah, buddy. This is Grady. Second mouse is the one that churned the butter. Hell of a show today, man. Appreciate all the input today. Terry says, weird ending of the game. But created a lot of new callers and some good, and some of the regulars chiming in. Good show. Thank you, Terry. This was fun today. It matters. It matters. Losing's miserable. Losing to those guys, probably a little more. Losing in that fashion, certainly a little more. But it shows that you're really, really good. It shows that this is a good club that has really nice potential. They got to bounce back Friday now. Air Force has been beating people. Air Force can really mess with you. You got to come back on Friday and get this thing going and turn things around. They got Utah State, and then you got Nevada again. It's a hell of a team. Now they got to finish. They got to learn from that. We talked maturity, right? I mean, in all reality, that game should have been done at the end of first overtime.
It should have been done.
They should have won that game at the end of first overtime. 19 turnovers. They turned the ball over 3 times right there. That hurt, man. That hurt a lot. All right. 505-246-0610 if you still want to get here. Hey, you know what I got going today? You know what's kind of cool? I'm emceeing something called Operation Shower. You know what this is? It's a baby shower for military moms. Pepsi's throwing it. I get to MC it today. I'm kind of fired up. I think we're going to have a really, really good time with this. There's games and prizes and all kinds of stuff. And, I'm almost like a game show host today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I put on my game show host jacket.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If I was a game show host, could I wear this jacket?
Yes.
All right. I mean, I can
Or
wear,
coaching the Lobos.
I don't know. Danny says it's a little too crimson. He finds it to be a little too crimson.
You could get away with it on the basketball.
I think you can get away on the basketball court. It's hard to see, I guess. I'm looking on the camera, but
Yeah. There's some. I mean, there's different shades of red in there. Yeah, I wore it to media day. Right?
it's your neutral gang color here. It's your neutral gang.
Is it kind of in the
blazer.
middle?
That's, you know what I mean? It's your
Yeah.
neutral gang.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. All right. Other stuff in the NFL today. Bill O'Brien returns to the Patriots as their offensive coordinator. So this is Bill Belichick saying, you know what? It didn't work. What I did not work. And so I'm bringing back Bill O'Brien, guy who rose through the ranks of Bill Belichick's staff, quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator. He was that for 3 years. Then he went on to Penn State. Remember, he was the guy that kind of initially cleaned that whole thing up at Penn State after the whole Sandusky situation brought it to its knees. Then he was the head coach of the Texans. He's been with Alabama. I think it's a great coaching move for him, don't you?
Yeah, bring back someone you know that you can work with well. Solid offensive coordinator. The team lacked that last year. Got a little cocky saying, hey, it's football guys. We can figure it out. We didn't have a true offensive guy, and it hurt Mac Jones.
Yeah. All right, elsewhere around the country. So this is actually really, really interesting. And I meant to talk about this earlier. So did you watch any basketball before the Lobos last night?
I did.
Did you watch the end of Duke, Virginia Tech?
Yep.
Did you see what appeared to be a flagrant foul throat punch that was not called?
Yep.
Did they review that?
They did.
All right, so Duke loses to Virginia Tech 78-75. So there was a long review, and ultimately there was a no call. Here's what happened. 13 seconds left in the game. Michael Collins Jr. makes a go-ahead basket for Virginia Tech. So he turns around in excitement. Now, I don't believe it to be intentional, but I don't think intent is part of the rule. He turns around, excitement, kind of throws a punch to the air, except for that fist pump, lands right square in the neck, right in the throat punched Kyle Filipowski of Duke. Like throat punched him. I mean, how else do you describe it?
Throat punched him.
All right. So there was a lengthy review, and they decided not to call a flagrant foul. Duke went down, missed the go-ahead attempt, and they lose. How was that different than what I saw last night? Intent, or is that literally, it had to be intent, right?
How is it different?
Yeah. By the letter of the law, a fist to the neck, whether intentional or unintentional, is a flagrant one, is it not?
My goodness.
Well, I watched that live, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a flagrant one, and I mean, there's no way around this. And so, again, a guy makes a shot, kind of fist pumps as he's turning around, and that fist pump lands square in the throat of an opposing player. How's that not a flagrant one? By the letter of the law, by the letter of the rule.
Because Vern Harris wasn't there.
I get it now, because it wasn't against the Lobos.
Yes.
I mean, am I wrong on this? Duke should be pissed.
I'm sure Duke fans are pissed.
Filipowski said, yeah, he just elbowed me right in my Adam's apple. I couldn't breathe for a minute, but I just needed to throw up, and I was good. Thank you. I just went and chundered into the trash can. Everything was fine. So flagrant one fouls, again, definition, excessive in nature or unnecessary or avoidable, uncalled for or not required by circumstance of the play. I mean, I wouldn't throw him out. I wouldn't go flagrant two, but hell, that was flagrant one. That's 2 shots in the ball. I don't know how it's not. If you're going to call it at the end of the, and again, different crew. It's not like they were inconsistent. The rule was applied inconsistently. Isn't that crazy, though? You had basically, and that was with 13 seconds ago, so basically the same sort of thing happened at the end of 2 games last night. One was called a flagrant, one was not. What do we want, JJ, out of officiating?
Consistency.
That's all, right? Now, again, the 2 crews weren't inconsistent. but the same rule was applied, certainly inconsistently or differently. All right, what do I get today? I get Mountain West hoops tonight? Did I get a full slate of that mess tonight? I should, right?
Should.
All right, here's what you got to look forward to tonight. You got around the league, Fresno State at Boise State. Air Force is at San Jose State. So Fresno State and Boise State's on Fox, or FS1, I'm sorry. See how the Broncos rebound. And then Wyoming at UNLV is your CBS late night game. We got a good one tomorrow night. Utah State's in San Diego. And then you get the Friday night game here. This league has turned out to be really, really exciting, hasn't it?
Top 5 teams are very good, with the bottom teams able to jump up and nip you.
Yep. Lobos will be back out on Friday. Air Force will be in town. And they got to respond. And they will, don't you think? And get your tickets
worried
now.
about that at all.
No, I'm not either. Get your tickets now, February 7th, when Alfred Noodles come down the ramp.
Oof. Don't wait. It'll
Should
sell
they
out.
acknowledge it? I mean, they'll be asked about it. Should they acknowledge it? Because they weren't here last year, right? They didn't play here last year. We'll talk about that. We got a lot of time for that. Hey, terrific stuff today. Great input. Thank you for everyone who contributed today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock. And we are back with award-winning radio again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, the video stuff really, really helped, and it makes the show better. Thank you. Hey, Marie, great job today. I know you were busy back there, huh?
Yep.
And yeah.
Thanks
no,
for
good
the
stuff.
called in.
Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
proud supporter of ProView Networks.